What is up, my Sabronis? This is the Sabo Standard Podcast, and we are back. This is episode 2, not really truly 2 because of the history episodes, but I'm working on doing a different thing for those. As we get more and more of those, that's going to be a separate thing. So this is truly episode 2. This is our NFL preview episode, and expect more than just episode 2 this week. Obviously, we had a great week of college football. I'm going to talk about all that shortly, but just not on this one. But hopefully within the next 2 days, the next 24 hours, that one is out. I was at the Ohio State-Texas game. I watched all of LSU Clemson, watched a lot of football this weekend. A lot of things I was right on, a lot of things I was wrong on. But first things first, Ohio State was absolutely electric on Saturday afternoon. One of the best environments I've ever been a part of. I'm really glad I went. Amazing game. I will give you guys all the details on that. Just kind of talk all about that in the next one, but this one is all about the NFL. The NFL is back Thursday night, and as this is recorded on Monday, I just waited to the last minute because who knew what was going to happen? Who knew what deals were going to break? There was obviously a lot that happened this offseason between the end of the Super Bowl and now, and I don't think there's any more big moves, so it was appropriate to do it now. I'm excited to talk about the NFL with you guys, give you all my thoughts. Obviously, I am a Steelers fan. Everything I say going forward is not biased. It is really the truth. It is exactly how it is. This is my predictions. I'm not putting bias into it. I think the Steelers, are improved. There's a lot of I'm doing winners and losers for you. I'm giving you each team just a quick run through of some thoughts and my division prediction. Give you some scheduled predictions. You're going to see, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm 99.999% sure that the YouTube will be up with this one. And even within that, I got some things that I've just tried to show to make it better. And so that is going to be kind of the first thing within this one. With all that being said, it is NFL time. College football's here. High school football's here. Friday night high school football. Saturday college football. Sunday NFL football, Monday night NFL football, Thursday night NFL football. It does not get better than this. We are in an exciting time, and it is time for your NFL preview show for the 2025-2026 NFL season. Let's go.
Samuel cuts it back. Ohio State wins. Hannah steps into it. Pass is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Pulls off three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good!
The standard is the standard. That's our motto.
Real quick, I'm not sick. I don't get sick around this time. But, man, the weather changes. It's 45 in the morning, it gets to 75, it goes back down to 50 by the time we go to bed. Just saw that weather change. I'm feeling a little stuffed up, so I apologize for any sniffles into the microphones or any sneezes. I'm trying to avoid it, but can't completely help it. Also, man, this was supposed to get recorded last night. If you know me, I got a young kid. He's up a lot. It's killing our vibe, man. It's hard right now. So young parents and old parents, you've been through this. It's like young kids that are listening to this. Wait till you have your babies. Make sure you are in a good spot because, man, I am tired. We are tired in the Sabo household right now. Anyway, biggest storylines, man. NFL season, Eagles coming off a Super Bowl. I really thought the Chiefs were going to three-peat last year. I expected the Chiefs to three-peat last year. Had, a lot of belief in them. And I wasn't big on the Eagles. I know they had Saquon, but other than that, what felt different? And they had such a bad year before that. They responded, and that's the thing with the NFL. Any team at any point can go from worst to first and go compete for a championship. The Eagles got their first one quite a few years ago against the Patriots, and they did not wait long to get that second one. Kind of biggest thing this year, and I did this with college football. The first biggest storyline is, can the defending champs repeat? Can the Eagles repeat? It's going to be hard to. I think that their division is better. Washington is really, really good. I'm really, really high on Washington. I like Washington a lot this year. I like the things that they did in the offseason to bring in Deebo Samuel. And we're going to talk about each team, but, they brought back Scary Terry. They were able to get that thing done and get him there, keep him there. They added some good pieces, and Jane Daniels, man, is really, really, really good. The Cowboys, I'm not big on the Cowboys. But at the same time, too, they can go win any game at any point against any team. And the Giants, I just don't think win a lot of games, but they are better. They're certainly better. That defense is maybe one of the best in the NFL. People predict them to lead the league in sacks. I wouldn't doubt it after adding Abdul Carter to a team that already had Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau. They have the talent. Russell Wilson, Jameis at quarterback, and then Malik Neighbors, is one of the most explosive receivers. How good can they be? And with a division like that, where no team has repeated its division champ since 2004. Now, some teams have won in a 2 or 3 year span, but never back to back since 2004. The Eagles did it from 01 to 04. I mean, we're going on 20 years now, where no team has won it back to back years. If they can't even win their own division, can we trust them to win the conference and win the Super Bowl? I don't know. But I think that there is a lot of good talent on that team. They didn't really lose anybody, and it seems like they're making trades every single week that kind of add a lot of luster to that team and fill holes that they think are needed, or fill holes where they think problems were at, and try to get better with it. And then just kind of like my biggest, next biggest storyline is my winners and losers, like teams that had great off seasons and great teams that didn't. I have for you 6 teams that I think had great off seasons, and then I have 5 teams. The Cats, man. 5 teams that did not, or 3 teams that did not. And then, like I said, after that, we'll just kind of run through each division, talk about each team a little bit, give you some season prediction awards and things like that. I mean, there's so much. I could give you 32 hours probably, but we're going to try to get it down into a 30-minute span. So biggest winners, I'm going to go Chiefs first. Chiefs, they made Super Bowl for the third year in a row. Didn't win it this time. Had a really good game against Philly previously before that, obviously 2 years ago. And then they beat the 49ers, and then they're going to repeat, and you get the Chiefs. And this Super Bowl loss just felt like the same one against Tampa Bay. Mahomes is really, really, really good. Mahomes had no time to do anything. It just felt like almost nobody else showed up. But this year, they retooled their O-line. They fixed some things. They plugged in some missing pieces, made some signings, and got better at that. And they're going to be healthy at receiver. I mean, you got Rashee Rice back. Obviously, he's suspended for a little bit at the beginning. But you got Xavier Worthy. You got Hollywood Brown. You got 3 guys that are really, 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 really good at their position. When last year it was their thinnest position. Obviously, Xavier Worthy as a rookie played well, did a lot of really good things. Now you won't have to rely on that rookie. You got some good depth. And now they got a chip on their shoulder. Like, you're making a really good team feel like they're the underdog every single week. Like, they're not good enough to go in the Super Bowl. A lot of people are picking the Bills, picking the Ravens, picking other teams to represent the AFC. And they're like, we've been here. We've been doing this. Why are you picking against us? And they have a chip on their shoulder now. And I think that because of that, expect them to be really good in the AFC West again. I know people like the Chargers, they like the Broncos, and I think those teams can be good, but they're just not going to be good enough to beat the Chiefs and a retooled offense altogether, offensive line, receiver core, and then the defense is going to keep being Kansas City defense as long as the D coordinator is there doing what he's doing. I like the Rams. The Rams got richer in a lot of ways. They had Devontae Adams. They kept Kyren Williams around. The only thing about the Rams is a little concerned about Stafford and his health. Apparently he's dealing with a back injury, but if he's healthy, Puka, Devontae Adams, Kyren Williams, that offense is really, really good. And who knows, week 6, what if Aaron Donald wants to come back? Like that, the fact that he can always kind of do that is really scary for that team. That's really, really good. Ravens, I like a lot still. The rich get richer. They added Jair Alexander from the Packers. DeAndre Hopkins, you don't need to come in and be number 1 receiver anymore. You can come in and be the second, third, fourth best option on offense, along with the best running game in football with Lamar and Derrick Henry. They get richer. They didn't lose anybody big. The Commanders I like a lot. They're coming off the NFC Championship game. They added the weapons of, like I said earlier with Debo. They added Laremy Tunsil on the line. They repaid Terry McLaurin. Was it an overpay? Maybe. But you had no other choice. You got to give that young guy the weapons while you have him on his cheap deal. While you can afford it, you have to do it. And they got that running back that obviously everybody is excited for in fantasy football. Bill is going second, third, fourth round in some drafts. I mean, it's ridiculous. But is he really that good that he's going to add so much more depth at running back along with Austin Eckler? You don't need Eckler to be the best guy. Quite possibly. Packers, they weren't originally on this list, but you get a blockbuster deal like that. You had a top 5 defensive player in the league. They had, a wide receiver in the first round for the first time since 2002. They took Javon Walker. Then they added, obviously, Matthew Golden this year. It just feels like a solid roster all the way through. And Jordan Love, how you feel about him kind of determines a lot of things. Finally, my last team, my biggest winner, and this is the biggest winner of the offseason. You could say I'm biased. I'm not. This is really just the fact of what it is. The Steelers had the best offseason of any team. They re-signed TJ Watt. They got their guy. They got a quarterback on the roster. They got, they drafted Will Howard. Maybe he's the future. Maybe he's not. But they got rid of distractions. They got rid of Pickens. I wasn't a fan at the time, but you know what? It is what it is. Get rid of the clown. The guys that pout, that don't want to block, that don't want to do their job. Najee was a good guy. Seemed like he really liked playing for the Steelers. He just didn't fit the offense. They got rid of Dan Moore Jr., worst offensive lineman I might have ever watched play football ever. And they bring in a guy, they draft Johnson out of Iowa. They go bring in DK Metcalf. They go, obviously, their big trade, getting Jalen Ramsey. Losing Minka sucks, sure. But if this is the best piece, the missing piece, what Jalen Ramsey can do at corner, at nickel, at safety, they just feel retooled. They feel like the same team with a whole new identity of players. Guys that, hopefully can come in. Jonnu Smith is added. There's a lot of good talent. Let's see what Calvin Austin, let's see what Roman Wilson, Michigan guy, can come do to be your second, third receivers. But with Jonnu Smith, a guy that can play tight end, play in the slot, along with having Freiermuth and Connor Hayward already at that position. I just feel like every single part of the Steelers, the kid out of Oregon, added the D line, like your best position, Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer had such a legendary end to his Ohio State career. Now he's going to go in and learn from T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward. I mean, they're just going to retool that position. That's what they did. They got better in every single way. Not one person did they lose. Did they not replace that position with somebody better? And I think that the Steelers had the best offseason. Do I think they're going to have the best regular season? No. But you're going to see that in a second, who I think is going to be where and who's going to do what. But first, our biggest losers. First off is the Dolphins. My notes right here says, talk about a team that just feels like there's no juice. What move sticks out? Tyreek Hill complains every single day. Tua is talented, but injury is inevitable. And even guys like, Jalen Waddle, Achan, like, no one feels like they're game changers anymore. Waddle's not the guy that they expected him to be when they drafted him. He's a good number 2 receiver, don't get me wrong, but just feels like there's no juice. What move made them better than the Bills this year? None. What move made them better than the Jets? None. What move made them better than, the Patriots in their own division? None. Like, they're the worst team in that division. It's a tough division. And 2 years ago, it felt like they were going in one big direction. That direction's gone. Like, I don't know what the future is. I like the head coach McDaniel, but I don't know how much time he's left. Like, what's left in there for him? Like, I don't know. There's no direction for them to go. They might be one of the bottom teams this year. The Niners, people are gonna have them, go in the Super Bowl or deep in the playoffs, but I barely think they win 9 games. Yeah, McCaffrey will bounce back. Hopefully, he's really good. He's not. I have a dynasty league. He's my number 1 running back. Hope he's good. We need him to do well. But the team just feels old. They feel like a middle-of-the-pack team compared to where they were. They get rid of Debo. Brandon Ayuk's coming off an injury. You got the Coker, or not Coker. You got the Pearsall kid. You got Juwan Johnson. But it just doesn't feel like it's George Kittle and McCaffrey. I don't trust Brock Purdy. I'm not a big Brock Purdy fan. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's great. I don't think he deserves the money he got paid, and they paid him a lot. If he doesn't live up to the hype, they are not going to win a lot of games. And then finally, my last biggest loser is the Lions. They lost both coordinators. The team is just deep everywhere, though. They added talent. Defensively, they can't be any more unhealthy than they were last year. I mean, they were the most unhealthy team I've ever seen, and they still won as many games as they did. But losing the coordinator is big time, especially Ben Johnson. I think defensively, if they can just stay healthy, they'll be fine. I think on offense, they are so good. They have so much talent. Goff, Gibbs, Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Laporta, Jameson Williams, Isaac Tasala. They have talent. Will they be explosive without Ben Johnson calling trick plays and doing all that fun stuff? Probably not. Are they going to be more of a grinded out offense, run the ball, force teams to make you pass the ball, and then be explosive with those guys? I think so. I think that's how their offense is going to look. And because of that, the games are going to be a little bit more grindy, a little bit more gritty, and I think that they still win a lot of games. It's just not going to be as much fun watching as last year, but I don't think that's a loss for them. I think the biggest loss is just losing those guys and having to overcome it and go in with a whole different mindset. When you lose both, that's where the question mark can come. It just won't be as explosive anymore. Next up, we'll talk about each division and give you my prediction. If you're watching this on YouTube, I should have like somewhere right here, or right here, or right here, or maybe the full screen of this division and their record. It doesn't show you each team, but just the record, and then kind of go from there. And like, I'll be honest with you, is it probably the best prediction possible? No, I go through each team at a time, do all of the Commanders teams or all the Commanders games, and I go through and I pick. And so when I'm doing this, I really just put head to head that week, who is the better team, and that's how I come up with my prediction on who I think is going to be really good. And guess what? That could change. I have the Eagles beating the Cowboys this week, but it's one of those games where the Cowboys can come in there, they can play really well. They Micah Parsons isn't there anymore. The distraction's gone. The Eagles are coming off Super Bowl. They got their ring. Are they going to be distracted? Can the Cowboys win it? Sure. And I had the Eagles winning this one. Like, I know that's one that I picked the Eagles to win because they're the better team. But could the Cowboys win? Sure, absolutely. So NFC East, I don't think the defending champs will repeat. I don't think there's a hangover where they miss the playoffs, but they don't make the Super Bowl. The Commanders win it. There's been no repeat champ, like I said, since 2004. The Cowboys are going to be bad. I think they're tanking for Arch Manning. They're going to get rid of Dak somehow. They got more picks now. They want Arch, and we're going to talk about Arch here shortly in the next episode. Obviously, after that game versus Ohio State, still think Arch is a good quarterback. The Cowboys want him. He's destined to be a Cowboy. It just feels like the drama is going to be there always. I think the Giants can win some games, or they're going to lose a lot. Like I said, there's talent there. So I think the Commanders, the best team in that division, then the Eagles, and the Cowboys, the Giants finishing last. The NFC South, man, is so tough. Like, it's tough as in no great team, a lot of bottom feeders, a lot of average. I think the Saints are the worst team in the NFL. When I put this, it came down to the Falcons or the Bucks. Obviously, I have the Bucks winning 12 games. There's talent there. Their talent outweighs the negativities on that team, and the talent is better than the rest of the talent. Atlanta's got talent. We all know that. I'm not trying to compare talents. They got Penix, they got Kyle Pitts, they got Mooney. There's guys, there's pieces there. It just doesn't feel like a cohesive team as much as maybe the Bucks just feel cohesive enough to be the best team in that division and win the division. And backtracking just on their schedule, it is a easy schedule. They're just not good enough altogether. Next is the NFC West. I like the Rams a lot. I think the Seahawks are improved. I just, gave you all my thoughts about the Rams. I think the Seahawks are improved even without having DK Metcalf there. JSN, I expect a big year from him. He is so explosive. We saw at Ohio State. He's just got better with it. 49ers are one of my biggest disappointments, one of the worst off seasons. The Cardinals, I like the talent of the team. Obviously, they got Marvin Harrison. They got good O-line. They got good defense. The run game, is going to be improved. I just don't trust Kyler. I don't think Kyler Murray is that good, and I think there's a lot of distractions, a lot of drama with Kyler every single year, and I just don't think he's good enough to win a lot of games. And they're 4-13, and I don't expect them to win a game in their division. I think they're the worst team by far. Will they upset a team or two? Sure, but again, I just don't expect them to be that good. NFC North, the Vikings will go as far as the Michigan man, J.J. McCarthy, will take them. I think they have good receivers, they have good defense, they have good running back rotation. How good is JJ? If JJ is really good, if he is above average, they got Justin Jefferson, they got Jordan Addison. Throw the ball up there. He's up there somewhere. Justin Jefferson will go make the play. You've seen that happen. He's made great plays in his career. He's explosive. He is a top 2 receiver in the league. If you said 1, I don't argue with you. If you said 2, I don't argue with you. He is that talented. He is that good. If JJ's above average, they will be just fine. If JJ is below average, expect the Vikings to go make a move for a quarterback because they have all that talent. Do not waste a year with those guys because you're having, somebody that in the NFL hasn't proven anything. Obviously, JJ's a winner. He's won college. He got his national championship, albeit with an asterisk. But if he's not good in the NFL, the Vikings won't be good. The Packers are in the same boat. I talked about, the big trade that they did, drafting a receiver in the first round, all those things. How good is Jordan Love? That determines everything for them. Is Jordan Love a top 5 quarterback, top 6, top 7 quarterback in the NFL? I personally don't think so. I think the team is good enough that they can go win 10 games, but I don't think he's that great. If you watch Get Up every morning, I watch Get Up during the summer a lot. Turn it on. You got Mike Tannenbaum filling in, and Mike Tannenbaum every single day all summer long. This and that about Jordan Love being that good, taking that next step. I don't think he does. I don't think he's there. I think he's a good receiver, but I don't think, or a good quarterback. I just don't think he's a great quarterback. He doesn't do enough to move the needle. The Bears, man, I think they'll be dangerous on offense. They got Ben Johnson play calling. They got DJ Moore. They got Dunsey. They got Burton. They got Colson Loveland. They got DeAndre Swift. There's good talent there. Laporta, his rookie year was Ben Johnson's first year as OC. Led the rookie touchdown record under Ben Johnson. Loveland is going to come in. Loveland's going to do the exact same thing. He's going to score a lot of touchdowns as rookie tight end. He's going to be a blanket for Caleb Williams. But if Caleb sucks, they'll suck. He has to improve. He has to play better. He has to be a better quarterback, be able to run that offense. They're going to be tricky, dinky plays like the Lions were. If they can be improved on that front and they can play good defense, they'll win some games. I just don't think that happens. I think they're going to be fun on offense. I think they're going to get outscored. And I don't think Caleb Williams is that good to where he's going to be able to put up a whole lot of points. But I think guys like Loveland and DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, and Dunze, they're going to be good fantasy receivers, running backs, tight end. So if you have them on your team, be happy for some points, but don't expect wins if you're a Bears fan. And then obviously the Lions, I talked about losing their 2 coordinators. But I think Gibbs is the best running back in the league this year. I think Gibbs has the most talent. Obviously, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry. If you said 1-2, I don't care. Like, I'm not arguing with you on those. I can agree. I just think that I expect a big year out of Gibbs. I think that the 1-2 punch of him at Montgomery makes Gibbs better. He doesn't have to play every single down, and when he is in, he is explosive as all can be. I expect Gibbs to do a lot of good things at running back 1 this year. I think that there's a chance that he's the best player in that division. Or the best running back in the NFL, best player in that division. He's going to really stand out. He's going to score a lot of points this year for him, and he's going to be that grindy guy. Lions 14-3, Packers 10-7, Vikings 6-11, Bears 4-13. Expect the Vikings to be looking for a new quarterback next year. AFC East, the Bills, the Jets, they got better. The Jets, had a good quarterback. It was Justin Fields. Added, the Lions defense coordinator as their head coach. And it just doesn't feel like they lost a lot of pieces. Like, I like what they're doing. The Patriots, they got better. I think that they're going to have a really good year with Mike Vrabel. I don't necessarily think that Drake May is a great quarterback, but I think he's going to do enough. I think that they're going to play really good defense. They added Diggs. Like, Diggs is looking for a bounce back. He's got to bounce back after a tough year in Houston and coming off the drama in Buffalo 2 years ago. I expect, Diggs to be a really good quarterback or a receiver for him. I guess I have the Dolphins win more game than the Jets, but I think the Jets are going to get better past this year. Give Aaron Glenn some time. Give Justin Fields some time. Give Garrett Wilson some time. I think next year the Jets can be one of those teams that competes. And obviously the Bills are the Bills. They're the best team in this division. They got Josh Allen. They got talent at every spot. Josh Allen's the best running quarterback, passing quarterback combo in the league. Obviously Lamar Jackson's a better running quarterback. I get that. But I don't take him as a passer. Not that he's not a good passer. We're going to talk about him in a second. I just think that he is that good. That Josh Allen on both those fronts is better than, just Lamar at that or just whoever else at this. I like the Bills to win that division. AFC South, we're not going to spend time on this one. Man, it's a dumpster fire. The Titans suck. The Jags suck. The Colts, 6-11. I mean, Danny Dimes, how good is he going to be? I like Tyler Warren a lot. I think Tyler Warren is going to be explosive. But it just doesn't feel like Jonathan Taylor's getting old. No other receiver on their team. Just they don't have any great talent anywhere. They're just average everywhere else. The Texans it's their division to lose. Can C.J. Stroud bounce back from a sophomore slump season? That's the question. Mixon, how healthy is he? He's missing the first 4 games at least. Do they have enough talent to outweigh everybody else in the division? I believe so, but I don't think it's because they're really that great. I think they're good. They're just the rest. The Jags, maybe they're making some moves, but I just don't see the Jags winning much yet, and I think the Titans are really, really, really bad. AFC West, it's still the Chiefs' division to win. I think they're really, really good. Like I said, the having their full receiver core healthy will just kind of elevate Patrick Mahomes again to throw a lot of touchdowns, throw a lot of yards. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder. I think the Broncos and the Chargers are both very much improved. They're going to win 10 games each. Obviously, it just doesn't, with tiebreakers and stuff, doesn't put them in the playoffs. The Chargers are going to run the ball really, really well. They got Najee. They got Marion Hampton. Harbaugh is going to have a really good run game going on. Their defense is going to, with Derwin James, lost Joey Bosa, went to the Bills. Kind of forgot about that big move, obviously. But, he's been injured too much in the past that he's not really core of that defense anyway. They're going to win games. It just not enough. And then I like the Raiders. I think that they're fun. I think they're better. Let's see what Pete Carroll at 105 years old can do with Geno Smith, who's 45 years old. It feels like there's potential for them to grow and upset some teams. I just feel like that division is so tough that they're not going to be able to get much. And then finally, the AFC North, probably the one that we're going to spend the most on. This is the best division in football, from top to bottom. And in the Browns, I have winning 8 games. They're going 8-9. You Browns fans can be mad all you want. Okay, let's talk about the Browns real quick. I went through their schedule so many times. I remember this one specifically going through their schedule because I think about, well, if I say this, how are Browns fans going to react? I get it. Okay, it's part of what I do, and I have so many friends that are Browns fans that, just part of it. We have these conversations all the time. I think they start 0-6. I mean, I really do. I might even pull up, if you're watching on YouTube, again, this is pulled up right here on the screen, okay? They lose their first 6 games. I think it's such a tough schedule. But at the end, they play such an easy schedule to end it that they win a lot of games. How many quarterbacks are going to play this year? Obviously, Kenny Pickett got traded. Flacco's going to start. Does Shador play? Probably. Does Dylan Gabriel play? Probably. I mean, who knows? Deshaun Watson's Achilles might heal out in time, and he might play a game the same. I don't know how many quarterbacks are going to play. I think their defense is good. Obviously, they got Denzel Ward, top 3 corner in the league. Myles Garrett, top 5 defensive player in the league. Their receiver core feels solid. And Jerry Jeudy 2 years ago, feels like a good one piece for them. But the division is just so tough, and they're not going to win the division games that they need to. And I just think that, they're a dumpster fire. That's what they always have been, and that's probably all they will be forever. And so, as Browns fans, can you guys just forgive me on that one, and we can move on? Okay, Bengals 10-7. They're going to be, they got to win games 42-35. Just like I said with the LSU Tigers, just like I said with the Lions, the defense can't be any worse than it was. The defense has to play better. They will play better. They don't have to win games 42-35, more like 35-28 this year. They can just outscore some teams. They have one of the best offenses in the NFL. Chase Brown last year really showed as a good running back. Maybe the best duo receiver with Jamar and T. Higgins. If you want to debate other teams, that's fine. Joe Burrow is a top 3 quarterback, top 4 quarterback, top 5 quarterback in the league. I think he's going to be really, really, really good this year. If they're healthy, they're going to put up a lot of points on offense. They win 10 games. The Ravens, I talked about the Ravens. I talked about the Steelers. Not going to get too much into them anymore. I gave you both my thoughts on both those teams. At the end of the day, I guess is where I homer a little bit. I think the Steelers go 6-0 to the division. Whatever. You can say I'm wrong. Even if it's 5-1, they split with the Ravens. I don't see us losing the Browns. I don't see us losing the Bengals. Steelers are the third best team in the AFC. They go 13-4. Ravens 12-5. You could flip-flop those if it would make you happy. Say the Ravens are 13-4. Steelers 12-5. But at the same time, too, it just feels like the Steelers are primed to make a run. They need to win a playoff game, and this is their opportunity to. All right, real quick. Awards for the year, and then we'll go into playoffs. We'll go into who wins that, and then we will be done with this episode. So my MVP is Jay Daniels. He is going to make that sophomore rise. He's not going to make the sophomore slump. He played so good as a rookie. How could he play any better? He's got more talent around him. He's got a team that's experienced now, a team that's been there, that's done that. They're going to win the division. He's going to win the MVP, and he's not going to have the sophomore slump that CJ had. He's going to go win it as a sophomore, in a year 2 like Lamar did, like Mahomes did. He's going to take that big jump. He's going to win the MVP. My offensive player of the year, they don't give it to the same player usually. It always feels like, hey, you got the MVP, so here's yours. I like Gibbs a lot. I think, like I said, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the best running back in the NFL this year, just from what he's going to do for his team, the stats and everything. He's going Offensive Player of the Year. And then Defensive Player of the Year. It almost feels like DPOY, last amount of years. They give it to guys maybe a little too late. Like, hey, it's time for yours. I think TJ Watt has a really good year. The last time he was with the contract dispute, came back and had 22.5 sacks for the season. He's going to be really good. Myles Garrett, again, he's a top 5 guy in the league. Micah Parsons going to the Packers. He could have a good year. He's going to help that team. But just feels like Max Crosby's due for an award. He's really, really good at his job. He's a really, really good defensive end, defensive end that gets sacks, pressures quarterback. People like him. The story's there. Give me Max Crosby win Defensive Player of the Year. My most improved player of the year, give me Marvin Harrison. Again, I'm not big on Kyler Murray, but I think that Kyler is going to be able to give Marv the ball enough. Maybe a little biased with Ohio State tape, but he had such a disappointing, I think, rookie year for what they expected him to do, to where, anything above average this year is going to be like, oh, the growth is there. He's a dude. He's one of the best receivers, body-wise, talent-wise that there can be. Coming out of college football, how can he go in the NFL and play? I think year 2 he's going to show it. My comeback player of the year is Christian McCaffrey. Again, I don't think the Niners are great, but I think it's going to go there. He's going to score a lot of touchdowns for them. They're going to put him in the red zone. He's going to score. They're going to throw him the balls out of the backfield because they don't have anybody else to throw it to besides Kittle. So give me McCaffrey, comeback player. Rookie of the year, Travion Henderson. I didn't even say his name talking about the Patriots. But my goodness, you add somebody that explosive. You saw it against Texas. You saw it his first preseason game, took a kickoff return for a touchdown. He is so explosive. He's running back 1 to start the season. He's running back 1 there to end the season. He fits that team so well. Run the ball hard. Have other guys take some of the hits, fill in, and just be explosive. He's going to do a lot. He's going to score a lot of touchdowns. He's going to have a lot of yards. Travion Henderson, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and then Defensive Rookie of the Year, Abdul Carter. Kind of the same thing. Like, he just fits that defensive scheme. Brian Burns, Thibodeau, Carter's going to go. He's going to have a lot of sacks this year, and I like how he fits that Giants defense. Giants defense leads the league in sacks this year, and Abdul Carter's absolutely part of that. And then finally, Coach of the Year is Vrabel. You saw I had the Patriots winning 10 games. That is because Vrabel is that good of a coach. You didn't want to be the guy that replaced the legend, but you want to be the guy that is the guy that replaces the guy that replaced the legend. You know what I'm saying? So Mayo's gone. Vrabel comes in. Vrabel's a great coach. Vrabel's going to win 10 games with that team this year, and he's going to win Coach of the Year. Finally, to close this episode out, playoff time, baby. So I've talked about each team, giving you my thoughts, who I like, who I don't like, why not, players that I like this year, MVP, all those things. But it's a playoffs time. This is what all matters. January is going to roll around. We're going to get Super Wild Card Weekend. We're going to get the Ravens, the Texans, Patriots, Steelers, Bengals, Bills, Eagles, Bucks, Packers, Washington, Seahawks, Lions. Ravens beat the Texans. Steelers beat the Patriots, getting their first playoff win in years. Bills beat the Bengals. Eagles beat the Bucks. Washington beats Green Bay. Lions beat the Seahawks. Then we get a Buffalo, Pittsburgh, AFC divisional round. Give me the Steelers, baby. We're making it to the AFC Championship game. Chiefs and the Ravens, they meet in the other AFC divisional round. I like the Chiefs. Lions, Washington, rematch of last year's divisional round where the Commanders, upset the Lions big time. I think that the Lions get the revenge. Lions win that one. The Rams were your number 1 seed in the NFC. Again, if Stafford is healthy, Stafford and the Rams are really, really talented. They win enough games. They're the 1 seed. They play the Eagles. Again, that's another kind of revenge game. They should have. They were so close. And who knows what happens. If they win that game last year, I don't think that even if they lose to the Commanders or the Commanders win in the NFC Championship game, I think the Chiefs win it. I think the Eagles were the only team that were good enough, talent-wise, everything, punch the Chiefs in the mouth. If the Rams win that game last year in Philly that they should have won, man, the Chiefs are coming off a three-peat. But that's not what happened. The Rams get the revenge. They beat the Eagles in the NFC divisional round. AFC Championship game, Steelers, Chiefs. The fun ends there. The Chiefs are just so much better. The Chiefs beat the Steelers in the playoffs. It seems like every single year, either we lose to the Bills or we lose to the Chiefs. Make it to the AFC Championship game for what it's been the last few years. Great season. and see how they respond the next year. The Chiefs are that good, though. They get back to it. The Lions, they make it to the Super Bowl this year. They beat the Rams in the NFC Championship game. By the way, they would be going to Los Angeles in that one. The Lions, they beat them in the Super Bowl. Give me Lions. Give me Chiefs. Your Super Bowl winners are going to be the Chiefs. Travis Kelce retires. I think after that, him and, Taylor Swift go have a beautiful marriage and life together. I think that this is the one, though. Like, the Chiefs are just going to bounce back. They're that good. And I always hate the Patriots dynasty, but you had to respect greatness. And Mahomes is that great. Andy Reid is that great. Travis Kelce is that great. Chris Jones on defense is that great. There's so much talent there, and Mahomes is that good. They're going to find themselves back in that position. They're going to get back to the Super Bowl. They're going to respond, and they're going to win their third one in 4 years. Your 2026 Super Bowl champs will be the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, I'll tell you what, guys. That was a hard one to record. My voice feels gone. The nose. I'm sorry for all the sniffles into it. Try to edit all that crap out as best I can. But I had to get this done. Had to put this one out in the very near future, within the next 24 hours. After this comes out, which should be Monday, September 1st. This one comes out within the next 24 hours is your recap of the college football season, week 1. What a great year. Again, guys, we are the luckiest people on the planet. High school football on Friday nights. Sorry. NFL football on Thursday nights. High school football Friday nights. College football Saturday. NFL Sunday. NFL Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday are your recap weeks. Go watch TV with your wives, with your girlfriends. Enjoy what they want to watch. Watch a movie. Watch, The Bachelor. Watch, I don't know. My wife she's got some documentaries she wants to watch. She deserves those on Tuesday, Wednesday with me, as we also record some episodes. Going forward, I think Mondays, the aiming point on Monday is to kind of record and or post a recap of the weekend, NFL, college football, and then by Wednesday, Thursday, kind of giving you a episode with predictions for the weekend. I might not get the Thursday night football game in time, but episodes that are going to cover the weekend, the big games in the NFL and college, give you some betting lines, just the things that I like, spreads and teams that I really like, and anything else that there's ever time to talk, fantasy football, all those things. Like there's a lot of great fun in football, and we get to talk it all season long. I'm excited, ready for it. Appreciate you guys making it this far. What a ride it is. I mean, the NFL season is here. College football season is here. It is a great time to be alive. Appreciate you guys for riding out with me. Thanks for dealing with the voice and the cough and the sniffles and the cats and all the distractions around here. We got to set a standard around here because, like we say, like Mike Tomlin always says, the standard is the standard. We're trying to live up to that standard here on the Sabo Standard.